Hello, hello. Welcome once again to another edition of Quoth the Raven, Lewis Brett Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Brett Raven, 30-plus year veteran of comic, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games. And joining me tonight, my co-host, the Dark Novenger, Chris Hall.
Hello, everybody.
Your veteran comic colorist and comics professional and animator, beginning. Right?
Yes, beginning animator, video editor. I do a little bit of every. I call myself. I like to call myself the jackass of all trades, and the master of none.
Jackass of all trades, masturbator of none. Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the masturbator of none. Yes.
All right. Well, we've got an interesting week that's here. As you all know, Diamond has bit the bullet, was sold to bankruptcy, and was sold to Universal AdPop. And things did not look good, but all of a sudden, Universal's like buying or paying up half the roster of the employees at Universal to come work for Universal, or is it AdPop? I'm not sure. And then Alliance Entertainment, which was the original buyer for Diamond, who backed out due to shenanigans. Let's put it this way.
Putting it lightly. Yeah.
And so they have acquired numerous employees from Diamond. Whether this means that Alliance is actually going to go into comics, or they're just hiring people that are specializing in the other aspects of Diamond's overall branches for toys and collectibles, remains to be seen. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more the latter, but, we'll see.
Right.
But in the meantime, who has risen from the ashes, Chris?
Who's risen? I don't know. Who's risen from the ashes?
ICV2.com has created.
That's the name I couldn't think of. ICV2. Thank you.
Yes. Now ICV2 is basically the only legitimate comics news source there is, as far as I'm concerned. But it's run by Milton Griepp. For those of you who don't know who Milton Griepp is, he's the co-founder of Capital City Distribution that ran from 1980 to 1996, and was frankly the better of the two between Diamond and Capital. And we could argue as to why everybody went to Diamond the way they did at another time. But him coming back in to start a new ICV2 Direct site for independent comics.
Big news.
That's huge news. That is a game changer, in my opinion. Unfortunately, a lot of retailers don't seem to agree from what I'm seeing online.
Well, I know Ben he signed an exclusive contract with them, right? Yeah.
No. He's not exclusive. He's got 3. We're gonna get into the different ones he's with. But he is with ICV2 Direct. And speaking of Ben, we're talking about Ben Dunn of Antarctic Press. Let's go ahead and share the screen, Facebook, and his newsflash. He is with these distributors. He's with ICV2 Direct. He mispronounced it or mistyped it, and that is the direct link to their page, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. Panelfly, which I'm not familiar enough with, I have to learn a little bit more about, and Philbo Comics Distributors, which is Philbo Distribution. We're going to show them in a little bit. Apparently, Chris has a little bit of experience with the people behind that. He could talk a little bit about it, but not too much, I guess. But if you can, if you're a comic retailer or a customer, you can order directly from these places. Now, here's what Cliff Biggers. Now,
I'm sorry, Philbo Baggins. Yeah, it's Philbo Baggins. Yeah, that's who it is. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I thought too. And I said, but anyway.
No, that's what he calls himself.
Yeah. But anyway, all right, whatever. Anyway, which of these distributors is offering a 50% discount and free reduced rate? Do you know? Well, are you that dumb that you don't know who owns ICV2? you know how capital operated.
Right.
Cliff. You were around 30 years ago. You know better than to ask that question. It kind of ticks me off as someone of his esteemed stature, shall we say, quote unquote, in the eyes of the retail community would say something like that. It's very snarky and, inappropriate as far as I give a damn.
Right.
Again, another commentary. I got to find it down here. Big questions. Now, are these distributors going to work with point of service systems like Comics Hub, League of Geeks, Comic Shop Assistants? I'm pretty sure that they will. At least ICV2 will. There's no reason for them not to. I can't speak for the other ones specifically, Larry P. Higgins, which one is actually going to be able to get AP into stores like Lunar or Diamond? Any of them can get it in the stores. All the stores got to do is contact them and make an account and order.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the stores to order the product.
So what kind of remark is that? Larry D. Quiggins and Larry P. Higgins, right back to each other, hardly, isn't that just a coincidence? I guess I'll no longer be able to sell your books at my store. I have no idea who these distributors are. Okay, I get it. You don't know who Panelfly is. You don't know Philbo. I get it. But how the hell do you not know who Milton Griepp and ICV2 are if you're a retailer in this industry? Am I crazy to ask that question, Chris?
Not at all. No, not at all. No. If you are a retailer, you should absolutely know who that is.
Yeah. And, sure, have some questions for him because he's starting up again from scratch. It may not be the same exact structures as what Capital had, 16 years ago. But, this is a guy with literally 40 years experience in the business plus 45 years in the industry in Milton Griepp. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. I'm sure that if you had any questions, there are people will ask you, or be able to answer your questions if you go ask.
Right.
It gets me infuriated to see these kind of commentaries directed at Ben on his page like that for announcing that he is with these companies. Now, again, if they were commenting about, Panelfly, which I need to go open a page for, or Philbo, that's different because they're completely new companies, so to speak. But ICV2, you should know what it is.
Well, for those who don't know, Phil from Philbo Distributions, he started out as an agent and a writer in the industry, and he's done that for quite a few years, to greater and lesser successes, and decided to start a distribution company a year ago. I think he started it. So well,
that would make sense about the time that everybody was kind of jumping the ship, and you could see the wall.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a bad idea to have started it. It really should have been started when DC left. That should have been
very true.
But everybody wants to wait till we're all like, hey, the ship is sinking. Where's the
right? Yeah, exactly. Oh, I've got a baby here. Look.
But Phil will be at San Diego Con with a panel discussing his plans for the company. I do know that much. But that's, I don't know, when is San Diego this year? Is it July or next month?
I think it's next month.
Let's see. No, it's actually July 24th through 27th.
Okay.
So
right.
Yeah, so it's over a month away, and that almost 2 months, if you think about it, it's almost August. So yeah, I can understand why people are asking now. That makes sense.
Exactly.
So Phil needs to get on channels like mine and answer questions as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he wants to get himself some get himself some FaceTime and get himself some named people to actually back him.
Well, yeah, because I mean, what people want to see is a solid business plan, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to know that these companies have. I'm assuming they would want to know that these companies have the financial backing to be able to do this distribution deal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Well, not just that. It isn't about just finances. It's about physical warehouse space and other things as well that
right.
you need. And the thing is, you know, no one's going to have exactly the same thing as what Diamond had. But you don't need it unless retailers are going to start ordering to the level of bulk, which they have never done for the indies.
Right.
You know, we can do with a much smaller scale operation and still support, you know, 80 to 100 different publishers, but it'd be working on a smaller scale because the scale of demand from retailers won't be as large as what it was through Diamond for the overall industry.
Right. So basically, does this mean that the indie comic industry is saved? Not necessarily.
No. What it means is we're building channels for retailers to start looking into and start taking advantage of for their businesses, if there is their purview. That doesn't mean that comic shops are going to be interested in doing it, because a lot of comic retailers are already feeling overwhelmed because they order from what was Diamond and Lunar and Penguin Random House. And some of them have 3 or 4 other distributors they use, as Brian Hibbs did talk about recently on his Tilting at Windmills. He mentioned 7. I could name 12 if I wanted to, but they're, you know, but he mentioned 7 that were like the mainstream strong style, so to speak, distributors. And yes, if you're good at your job and you have the ability to get the audience base to support, then yeah, that's what you need to do, is get that many. But you actually have to be marketing towards that, and a lot of retailers don't. So it's a matter of, we can build it, but it ain't a field of dreams. There's no guarantee they're coming.
Exactly. Just like it was before, just like it was with Diamond, or I mean, any of the other independent, you know, distributors.
Right. Any of the other independent distributors that I mentioned back in January, including my own that I ran for almost a decade, we didn't have a whole lot of retail support. We had like 50 to 75 stores in the entire country that actually ordered from us. But we sold to other businesses because of that reason. We didn't rely solely on that. And that's another thing. I can tell you right now, ICV2 is not going to be just focusing on comic shops. They're going to be trying to get their books in the libraries. They're going to be trying to get books into the bookstore chains, because he's more knowledgeable about that wider scale. I can't say what Panel Fly is going to be like. I can't say what any of those. Yeah, I don't know for sure. Okay. Now we can look at some of these panels or some of these sites. We're going to take a quick look at Panel Fly first. This is a B2B site, brand to brand, you know. So it goes from indie publisher, major publisher, or sub publisher to local retailer, online retailer, or big box retailers. So you're going to have a business license to sign up, I'm pretty sure.
I would imagine so.
You've got direct publisher and brand access, simplified ordering. Exactly what does that mean? You know, I don't know if it's going to be connected to the hubs or that were mentioned earlier or not. They should be. There should be sales analytics. That's a good thing to have. Faster payouts. That should be good if it's properly structured. Transparent pricing, I like that idea for the clear wholesale pricing and volume discounts. There's a lot of non-transparent pricing that's going on with a lot of these distributors. So if they're actually transparent, legitimate, that would be good. They don't really get into enough of the details percentage-wise, but I am guessing based on this, okay, you're giving them 7.9 platform fee. They only make money when you do, and they cover all payment processing fees. 7.9% platform fee is about the percentage that you would be giving Diamond at 60%. They sell it at 50%. It comes about the same.
Right.
You're getting unlimited product listings. You get an analytics dashboard. You get marketing and promotion tools. You get phone and email support, and you get no monthly subscription cost as a publisher. Retailers cost you free access. All you got to do is access the whole platform. You get full marketplace access, volume discounts from publishers and brands, early access to new releases, support channels, and your spending analytics. So you know how much you're spending on what, and you can figure out what's going on with what you're ordering and how much it sells.
And that all sounds very promising. So I mean, it's it's some good information.
Yes. Now, obviously, I have not signed up because I am not a retailer, and even though I am a publisher, I'm not doing anything right now, and it's not good business to sign up with a company as a publisher unless you have product to sell. Okay, so that's why I haven't personally signed on this. But let's look at the browsing of who they've actually signed. Well, they've got Red 5 Comics, they got Literary Press, they got 10 Ton Press. Hackins, that's our good friend Gary Shipman. If you remember Titan Mouse of Might, we've got Ben's Antarctic Press, we got Scratch Comics, we've got SoPro, United Comics. This is TC Ford. United Comics is TC Ford. Let's see, Abrams Comic Arts. That's a big one because that's a New York major publisher. So they've actually got some names. Of course, we got Randy's Arrow Comics.
Mm-hmm.
We got Wiseacre Comics out of Goodyear, Arizona. I know those guys. Panico's a well-established company. Quite a few people are starting up to get on this. And that's quite a good sign. Now, which one do you want to take a look at?
Just pick one.
Just pick one. Okay. Let's look at Red 5 because they got 50 books supposedly on this that you can pre-order, which means you're selling a lot of their back stock as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good because there's a lot of product that Diamond didn't really do very well at getting distributed back in the day. We got Afterburn trade paperback. Minimum. Now there are a minimum order. They give you a minimum order if they want you to order, and that would be 3 for the trade paperback or 5 for singles. It looks like, and I don't think that's unreasonable. Myself,
no, not at all. No, not at all.
But I'm also, looking at it as you're trying to market the book. Even if you have a guy who's you only have one customer who's a pull customer, you should probably put 2 on the shelf and ask your pull customer to market it for you if you don't want to market it yourself.
Exactly. And they seem to be predominantly sci-fi and sci-fi horror. So
yes. Now I'm going to go ahead and look at some of these and see what they're doing here. Okay, the cover price is $19.95. A small bundle 3-pack is $25.14. So if it's $19.95, that's $60. You're paying $25 plus shipping for a small bundle 3-pack. Okay. So what is that? Let me get my calculator out real quick here.
Don't make me do math.
Right.
You'll end up dividing by 0.
That's a 42% discount, basically. That's what you're getting there. Now, that's maybe not as high as we'd like it to be, but that's for 3. You know, if you're doing...
And at 192 pages each? Wow.
Yep.
So that's a good price.
And if you do 5-pack, okay, well, what's 41? Yeah, it's still 41.9, 42%. So you're getting a 42% discount on that graphic novel, which is actually a reasonable price. Let's see what they're actually charging for single issues, though. Okay, a single issue is $4.95. So if they want 5, it's $50. You're buying at $10.40 for a 5-pack. So let's see. I'm trying to think here. 10.4. That's 41.6. So they're not in the 50% range as Cliff was wanting. But you're talking about very small bundles too.
Yeah.
If you got the 30-pack, which would be, they call it a medium pack, but a medium bundle, I'd say it's a large bundle. 30's a bit high for an indie book, no matter how cool it is. Unless you're like somebody who's worked for Marvel or DC, that
right, exactly. And it is 32 pages. It's not the standard, 22-page comic book. So.
Well, they say 32 pages, but that could be 32 pages with 22 pages of story and ads.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So we don't really know for sure. But okay, let's say that's 62.37. Yeah, it's still in the 41.6 range. So I'd say that's what they're going for panel flies, around 40 to 45% discount is what these look like on this one. Let's go see if another publisher has a little bit different. Let's look at Ben quick and see what he's doing. Okay, fantasy sketchbook, minimum units only 1. The book is $4.99. That's $5. He wants it for $2.50. That's 50% discount.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get 50, and see, he's giving you 55% discount, a 60% discount, and a 65% discount. 55% if you order 10 copies. 60% if you order 50 copies. So, I mean, I think that's fair. I think, it just depends on what the base each publisher wants to set it at, looks like.
Right.
Let's go ahead and see what he's got for an actual, something that isn't just a cover, but, an actual full book. Let's see, because a lot of these are sketchbooks that he's got on sale here, I've noticed, which most of these sketchbooks will sell because they're blanks. You sell them at a little bit higher than the $5 rate, actually. You can sell them I see a lot of stores jack them up almost double cover price automatic when they get them. So, and that's all he's got here so far that I can see. But let's see, he's got Cayman America. Yeah, that's a $14.99. He's giving you 50. Yeah, he's giving you a straight up 50 or higher discount. So that's, I think it's just what you get from each publisher. Let's see what Randy is doing here. Okay, he's got, wow. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, it's out of stock, unavailable. 50 pages books, but I don't understand. You have to buy a 10-pack is what they had, and that would have been $10 a book. And I don't know if there's a way to blow that up. See what the price is on it. It doesn't say, so I don't know. All right. And he probably had the same thing with the Atlantean. Yeah, they're out of stock. Okay. So I don't know. We'd have to ask him on that one. But all right, let's see what another company does. You know, it's pretty obvious that there are people that are just starting here.
Right.
There's a lot of them. Let's look what Abrams is doing. My friend Dahmer, Abrams Books, $20. You're paying $10.19. That's basically 50%. Let's see. Mom's Cancer is $16.95. You're paying $8.64. About 50% right there. So yeah, that's what they're doing. Best we could do, $10.19 versus a $19.99 cover price. That's like 48 to 50% discount. So yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
I would say so.
So that's Panelfly. Again, you go there and you sign up and look and see what they do, and different companies are going to give you different levels of discount, and you can make your choice, I guess. You know, I mean, and of course, you know, that's how much is that going to be for shipping and handling and stuff. That wasn't shown on there, but one would think if you have a reasonable amount of order, they're going to either discount or give you free shipping. You know, I mean, that's just pretty standard stuff.
That is very standard.
So, you know, I don't think that. Oops. Hold on a second. There we go. I don't think that's really an issue per se. They do need to get some more people, but they just started. I don't know how many they got. They only got like 235 books listed so far, which, you know, okay, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Yeah, a couple of them, I don't like their level of discount, but that's the way it is.
Do we want to see what Philbo's doing?
Yeah, we're going to go to Philbo here in a moment. This is Philbo. This is their mission statement. Delivering ideas and dreams in the literary medium to retailers across North America. The orders launch on July 1st, which means they've got a few more weeks to get people into the catalog, with a final order cutoff on September 1st, which gives you 2 months to order. And books will arrive on October 15th. That's a little quick in my opinion, but I could be wrong. Because that's supposed to be 6 weeks, but usually that's a fast turnaround from cutoff, isn't it?
It is very fast. Yes.
Yeah. I was thinking closer to, I don't know, that might be a problem. To start out with. They've got Antarctic Press who's signed, Counterpoint, Xenoscope is a name, Fair Square Graphics is a good name, company that's getting into the industry lately. Committed Comics is here. Exactly. Now, here's the thing. He doesn't tell you what discount. He's telling you what the cover prices are for the books, which is fine. But what is the discount percentage?
You can't click on them?
No.
Okay.
Crusade Comics is $80 hardcover, $99 hardcover. Now, those are the huge omnibus editions, but, you know, nevertheless, you kind of need to know.
Right.
Edge Comics, Eye for an Eye, $4.99 makes sense. No big deal there. You know, I like the general structure of the solicitations. They look good, but you still need to kind of state what your discount percentages are. If they're are they straight across the boards, the same for everybody? Is it different for different companies like it is over at Panelfly? What is it? You know,
right.
Retailers need to know that.
And there may be some more information lower down.
Well, we're going. It probably what it is they don't let you know when you go through this. You got to be signed on to the company or something.
But how do you know if you want to sign?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, got a lot of nice stuff here. Here's Philbo's personal books, and it's Tragedy and Night. Okay, right?
Yes, he's been working on Tragedy for a long time.
We got Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, which has been around for quite a while. Whiz Kids from DARPA, and then there's some Animal Warriors of the Kingdom action figures that they're going to sell. So they're not just selling comics, but they're also going to sell action figures. And then, as you can see, subscribe to the newsletter, and then there is no actual breakdown of their discount percentages anywhere on this.
You either have to message them to get.
Right. These are the guides for your new publishers. And what he wants is a cover letter, digital copies of all the books you wish to distribute, completed information sheets, which they'll send you a sample at the end of the list, 6 to 12 month production schedule or outline, a detailed marketing plan, how you will drive customers to comic shops. Yeah. Red flag, red flag, red flag. No, distributor and retailer. You are the sales force, not the publisher. I'm sorry. You guys have to hold your own. I'm not saying we're not going to give you tools to help you, but we do not give you a detailed marketing plan because, I mean, how many of you are actually going to do what we ask you to do anyway?
Right.
So, you kind of have to be a little more sincere on that one, I think. Now here's the thing. He kind of contradicts himself. We're a distributor of New English comic book, graphic novels, etc. We do not publish comics. What the heck do you see in the thing? What is Tragedy then?
Yeah, they're his self-published comics.
Yeah. So, if you don't publish comics, then that didn't look good. What do you mean? Now, what he means is we don't publish other people's comics.
Exactly. We will publish and distribute my comics.
Yeah. But, or maybe my friends. but clarify that. Okay. They're going to produce a monthly catalog. Good. We'll see what that looks like. They want everything digital. They do not want anything printed. They're telling you that it's going to take up to 6 weeks for them to review your stuff. Again, we're not a marketing firm. Okay, whatever. Yeah. I'll go along with visiting comic shops to research current trends, compelling hook for retailers and readers. Do you have a marketing budget? That's a good question. Can you afford and fulfill the project regardless of pre-order numbers? That is a very good question, but you should be aware of that before you even start.
Right.
Do you have a 1 to 2 year publishing plan? Try 5. Have I secured barcodes and calculated printing, shipping, and marketing costs? That's a good question. That's a good thing you should be asking. There's some decent stuff. He's only going to offer 40% off of retail price.
Oh.
So that's going to be a downtrend for him. I can tell you that right now.
Right.
If you're going to sell it, 40% discount retail price, we sell to 40 or 50% off the manufacturer, depending on tier pricing offers. Well, what that is not, for 50, you're going to want ridiculous levels.
Right. Yeah, you're going to have to order large amounts.
And most retailers can't do that. And 40 is too low a percentage count for most comic book retailers to bother. That's why one of the reasons why so many companies have been failing through Diamond is because they are only getting 40 to 45% discounts through Diamond. And that's why you've seen the problems with IDW and Aftershock and Scout and stuff like that, is because the discount percentages were not sufficient to get retailers to commit to buying consistently.
Right.
So that is something that he needs to up the price off, because I can guarantee you he's getting 60 to 65 off the publishers.
Right.
So it should never be that low as 40. It should be 48 to 55 should be his range, in my opinion. But that's just me as a former distributor myself. Okay. So now we've looked at Philbo. I hadn't gotten that far down to find that information before. But I'm glad we found it, because that was very important information.
Yes, it was.
Let's go ahead and look at the ICV2 Direct. Okay. They got hobby games, they got graphics and comics, and they've got merch. Okay. Currently under comic publishers, they've got Antarctic Press, Asylum Press, Bronco Inc. Publishing, Comicsburg, which are the guys who publish our friend Grant Lakard.
Oh, okay, Grant.
Yeah, for the Cryptid comic and stuff like that.
Yep.
Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. I just got a quick text from our third co-host, John Norris. Unfortunately, John's not going to be with us this week. He's had a kidney stone issue and was in the hospital today to try and get that resolved. And,
right. And if you've ever dealt with kidney stones, can we all just go, oh, ah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. We can make faces all night long for that, but
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was not good, but I guess he's been taken home from the hospital, given medications for the pain or whatever, and whatever they're going to give him to try and help him to pass the stone. So fun.
and some muffles to for his family members, or to block out. Well, yeah, but to block out the curse words that are most definitely going to be coming out of his mouth.
Okay. Well, anyway, we got Devil's Due, we got Dren Productions, Fair Square, Inverse, Neighborhood Comics, Planetland, Rare Noodles, SoPro, WCG, Wiseacre, and Zenoscope, and graphic novel publishers are there as well. A lot of the same people that are doing the same thing as Philbo and Panelfly. But they've also got board game people like Birdwood, Calliope, Daily Magic, Frenzy, Sextant, Soulless, and Twilight Creations. So there's a lot of good stuff going on there. Let's take a quick look at see what they've got here. If it'll show. Yeah, okay. And they've got Dog Park, Forever Home. So those are, I don't know if you're familiar with any of these type of gamings for the gaming stores.
Never heard of them before.
Yeah, but you're asking you to order 5 units. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see. They're going to give you the 35 manufacturer price. Your unit price is 21, so that's roughly 40%. Okay, and they want you to order 5. Case of 5. Well, yeah, case of, yeah.
And this is an expansion for the original game.
Yeah. So, all right. Plus, there's other games you can get here. So, yeah, let's see what the regular Dog Park case is. Manufacturer's price is $60. You're getting it for 35. Let me look at that real quick. Whoop, clear it. Okay. That doesn't add up right. Hold on a minute. Okay, yeah, that's right. It's actually 41, but okay. But yeah, I mean, that's.
So it looks like everybody's coming in around the 40%, 45%.
Yeah. Well, that's for hobby games. Let's see what they're doing for graphic novel, for comics. Let's see.
Good old Critter from Tom Hutchison.
Yeah. To see the wholesale prices, you have to sign in or create an account. But okay, so they aren't showing us that. But all right. I'm sure Ben would tell me if I asked him.
Oh, he would, absolutely. And so would Tom, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm guessing it's probably in the 40 to 50 range again. Like you say.
Right.
But yeah.
And seeing as I work for Tom, this is a great book. So you should definitely buy the book.
Well, yeah, anywhere you can get it.
And the upcoming Penny for Your Soul, which I will be coloring.
Yes. Is that coming out through Antarctic?
No, that is not coming out through Antarctic. That is coming out through Big Dog Press. Okay. That's Tom's main.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't sure, but okay.
So, all right. Aside from the gratuitous self promotion.
Right. Well, since they aren't giving us an actual thing here on the discount, because they want you to sign up, they got 14 pages of books for different companies.
Well, I mean, that makes sense though, because along with the reputation comes the trust. So, right. They're going to have more.
Yeah. I would imagine that since it is the one that's run by Milton, the starting rate is 46 to 47 and then goes as high as 55 to 58, depending on what you're ordering and how much. That's what I'm guessing. Now, again, I have to sign up, I guess, with them and find out what I can do. I'm going to email Milton and find out what I can find out.
Right. I'm sure he'll give you information.
Yeah. So, but other than that, these are just 3 new places you can go, and there's other ones that are still out there as well. And I don't know if you just saw him or not, but
Midnight.
Yes, the Midnight Monster just hit me in the back.
The Midnight Monster. Here we go.
The Midnight Monster.
Here he is. He's like, I'll distribute your comics. You don't want my cat to distribute your comics. They'll be distributed all right. Shred all over the place. I'm kidding. He doesn't do that, but he might if you put him in his litter box, but other than
that. No, he's a comics-friendly cat.
Yeah, he's a very comic-friendly cat. But we, there's going to be some other distributors that are also out there. I think, in 6 to 8 weeks when we have San Diego Con, we're going to be hearing about some more. coming out as well. There's rumors that there's 2 on the West Coast that haven't been announced yet.
Okay.
So whether or not they will be or not, whether they'll be announced in San Diego, who knows for sure. But, there's a lot of talk going on anyway. And it's just a matter of, are retailers going to listen or are they going to ignore it like they've done over the years with other attempts? Right. I don't know if the print on demand, like I haven't talked to Barry Gregory about whether or not he wants to try to reestablish Indie Planet as a distributor like it was originally intended or not.
I would imagine distributors are going to be popping up like crazy over the next few years. So,
yeah. Alrighty, so that's what we got to talk about on those, and we're going to revisit all of them with more detail and more information as we get more news on them. But let's go ahead and see what's going on here with my page. It's not working. Why is it?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why. Okay. This is what I need when he's in my lap, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. We'll get it.
Wow, 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 wow.
Oh. No, he's always trying to get in my way so I can't use the keyboard. As you can imagine.
As cats are wont to do.
Yes. Yeah, I just want to give it attention. That's all. Yeah. We have 2 books that we're going to talk about for reviews tonight. They're both from Spellbound Comics. That is J.M.J. Matisse's crowdfunding. What?
My camera fell.
Oh, sorry. I was in another window fixing things so we could actually share stuff. We're going to talk about 2 books from him. The first one is ANYMAN #2. From Spellbound Comics, writer J.M.J. Matisse, artist David Beldion. Sorry, I didn't get the little accent over the O.
Beldion.
Yeah. Arthur Hesley is the colorist. Lettering by Taylor Esposito. Editor David Baldy. Genre, superhero action adventure. Released May 2025. What it's about. For those who don't remember the concept, a refresher. ANYMAN is a science program that promises you superpowers and immortality, but only half delivers on the promise. You get the powers, but you die horrifically in 12 months, and the public gets told you resurrected immortally into a new shell. When they give it to the next person. This story jumps around between the 1970s and the original ANYMAN, David Townshend, and the current day where the most recent ANYMAN, Kostas Strakos, who died but was given a new treatment before his demise by his lover, Dr. Ajitu Natu. Ajitu Natu, I told you not to. Which causes him to resurrect from the dead and become a hulkish type monster, as you can see on the cover. Natu has to stop Draco, so she ejects herself with the serum that creates ANYMAN and takes on the abilities of herself, all of which is seemingly manipulated by her father, the head of the Vishnu Project, Jahan Natu. What did I think? I had to reread this issue a couple of times because jumping back and forth from 70s to modern times was a little confusing at first. Probably because I was trying to breeze through the thing quickly. So I admit that. And probably because I didn't remember the backstory from issue #1 completely and I couldn't find my copy. Overall, it's a good story. It's a bit predictable in terms of the plot and having Ajita become any woman. The real question is, was that her father Jahan's plan all along? and they leave that to be revealed next issue. The art by Baldion is reasonably decent, but the story is really now about whatever Ajita is going to do moving forward. And while that's potentially interesting, I wonder if DeMatteis is playing with the Hindu gods mythos to eventually portray Ajita as Parvati Devi, or if he's trying to break the trope by turning Shiva from male to female as a destroyer god, or what's he playing with here a little bit. I'm unsure, however, if readers are going to be really interested in picking up on them, because unless you're into that kind of thing, into the mythology of the Hindu gods, having that kind of mythology dressed in superhero spandex might go a little over people's heads. I don't know. So I don't. But the only real complaint I had about the book was the lettering was way too small for most of the diary journal entries, and I had to use a magnifier to read some of it. I imagine that's what you're going to say, that there's too much text in general.
Well, actually, for this one, I didn't mind it. I found the story compelling enough to get me through the text, the blocks of text.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed it, and I found it refreshing trying to bring Hindu gods and the Hindu mythos into modern day comics. So I found that pretty refreshing.
Okay.
So I enjoyed the art overall. So I actually really enjoyed this book.
Okay. Well, we both give it 3.5 stars. And if I can reach the book now, because I've got the cat in my lap. All right, let's take a quick look at some of this.
So did you find the story kind of derivative of, maybe I'm way off, like Miracle Man type at all?
It's been so long since I read Miracle Man. I don't know. I suppose there is some. Let me get the Midnight Monster out of my lap first. Down, boy. Thank you. All right. Let's take a little bit more look at the art here.
Yeah, I found the color palette really pleasing. The coloring is nice. The art is is pretty nice.
Yeah.
It is a little confusing, like you said, the back and forth.
Yeah.
But it's not like story breaking.
No, it's not story breaking. I like the ad for the Heroes Initiative.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was nice to have. Again, the Kubert School, which we've already showed you yesterday. And then this is where she gives herself the injections and
turns into any woman.
Yes. And the hulking ex-boyfriend, resurrected demonic version of him is like, what? I've got a different costume.
Different but similar.
Yes. Yeah. So, and then of course, this is when the fight starts. So it's like, yeah. I mean, she knocks him into orbit, maybe. We don't know for sure. And her father's like, yes, good job, daughter. But I don't know. There's a lot of things that DeMatteis is like taking elements from, I think. And
right.
So if you recognize the elements, yeah, okay, that's what it is. But if you don't necessarily see it, like you're saying, Miracle Man, that one didn't. Now that you mention it, I can see it a little bit, but that did not cross my mind when I was reading it.
Right. It's for me, it's just the all powerful godlike hero, turning evil and going on a killing spree, and just wanting to destroy everything. So,
well, I think the reason I didn't make that connection is because the psychology of the two versions are different enough that I wasn't thinking of it that way, maybe.
Right.
So that could be it. But okay. No, that's fine. We both give it a 3.5. Let's go ahead and move on to the other book. Godsend, number 2. Publisher Spellbound Comics by Jan DeMatteis writing with Scott Koblish art. Colors by James Devlin and lettering by Taylor Esposito. Editor David Baldy. Cosmic science fiction, superhero action. Also released May 2025. Well, it's about Eric Small, that's the blue guy in the center. Diana Worth, that's the female on the left. And Oliver Velo, the guy on the right, discovered that they are not truly human, but not overworldly, but otherworldly. Quoth, new gods.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Entities with amazing abilities, but the revelation leaves them questioning who they truly are, as they have no real awareness of their true selves yet. And are they about to be manipulated by those outside forces? What do I think? Jan DeMatteis' version of Kirby's New Gods was a bit too much of the whole existential crisis motif going on.
Thank you.
I like Koblish's art. I like the designs of the characters, but if I'm treating this story just on its own without the first issue, it just feels disjointed and confusing. Somewhat on purpose, because the characters themselves are meant to be confused, but there is a difference between having your characters be confused and having your audience be confused.
Yes.
Again, my not being able to figure out where I stashed my number 1 issues, to refresh my memory of exactly what's going on in full context, probably played a part in that. When I look at it, this is why I wish more crowdfunders would ask for the backer to invest in a whole first arc up front. But then I'm crazy enough to pay for the whole first arc up front.
Right.
I'm
Crazy Louie. I'll buy any of your comics.
Not quite. Yeah. Anyway, I do love this cover, by the way. I like this is one of my favorite covers from the books in general. I have a suspicion that you didn't care for this one very much. Too much talk. I did. And again, while it does serve the story is pretty much, who am I? Why am I here? What's this all about?
Yeah.
And if you do that for 3 acts in a whole issue, you're going to lose the audience. And I think that's what happened with you.
I found this writing really pretentious. In my opinion. So yeah, I didn't really care for it.
Okay. I like this one, but I understand totally why you wouldn't. But it does have that kind of pretentious thing, but then the New Gods, the Eternals are kind of pretentious.
Yeah, they are. But I feel as though the New Gods were still more accessible, down to earth.
Well, Kirby didn't really write. I mean, Kirby wrote flowery, but he didn't write like
deep.
No, he had some depth to him, but I mean, it wasn't. He was very straightforward, linear writing with
yes,
Jack.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of the writers today want to write multiple layers and try and merge them and kind of not confuse the audience, but like give you a red herring to make you think what you're going to get and then shock you with aha, I fooled you. And that's, trying to be too clever can be a problem with writing comics.
Right.
Sometimes you want it straightforward. So there's that. Now, I give this one a 3. It's not as good as ANYMAN, but it's good, or at least average comic. You gave it a 2.5.
Yes, I did. The art was good. Didn't care for the story at all. So
okay, so those are our 2 reviews for the day, but we do have one more thing. We got this huge box of stuff that came from Canada, and it was kind of it was like this when I got it. So it's like I kind of wondered if Customs tried to open it and then resealed it, or what did they do?
Right.
You know.
So there's either poutine in there, or there's like a 72-page thank you letter.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's not going to do that. I got to get my X-Acto blade and perform surgery on this box. Okay. Maybe. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was just the way it was. This way it was packed. I don't know. This is an odd duck. There we go. I got that one open. Okay. Yes, I see why it didn't really come out now. He taped it on 4 sides on inside, so it wouldn't move. That makes sense. Okay, so this is just a really weird way to box All right, let's see what we got here. We got a lot of stuff. So what we got? Let me go ahead and get this up here. It's in bubble wrap, so it's protected, theoretically, anyway. Okay, what do we got here? We got a backing board that is completely mutilated.
Yes, it is. Holy crap. Ooh.
Dragons.
Nice.
Book 1. Becca's Scarecrow. Wahoo Morris. That looks like book 2, or was that book 1? That's book 2. But book 1 is also in here.
Okay, that looks really nice.
Yeah. For those who don't know what Wahoo Morris was, this was a series by Craig Taylor about a rock band where one of the characters is a witch.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then you remember when we reviewed this.
Right? I do. Yep.
So this is Sian, the thief of, I can't read it, Korshavara. So that ought to be really cool to look and review at later. Let's see. Another cover. There's some issue. And probably another one. Yes. I also got the other cover.
Very nice.
Yeah. And let's see what else is in here. There's something else in there. What do we got? We got a bookmark and a print. Okay. There's the print. Trying to get it so you guys can see it. Not too much glare from the here. The same as that one cover of the book print. So quite a good haul there. So that was weird that the way it acted the way it did, but shipping, you know how things go.
Right. And I had to look that up. It is pronounced Sean.
Yes, you're right. Okay.
Just because I'm like, it's Celtic. It's like, it's probably not pronounced Cian.
Yes, you are correct, sir. So it is Sean, thief of Korshavara. Let's go ahead and bring it up close again there.
And yeah, great lettering, great cover. Yeah, I'm loving the look of this one. So
yeah. And I don't know if I ordered a PDF or not. I don't remember getting one, but I'll talk to Craig online and ask him.
okay, cool.
Because if we got a PDF, I'll get that so you can at least look at the PDF. But
Alrighty.
But okay, there are some changes to the schedule moving forward. As I mentioned earlier, our co-host John has got some medical issues. We don't know when he's going to be returning, so he will not be here on Thursday. But I will be reviewing the books that he has sent me his reviews on. I'll just be the one reading them this week. And well, Chris has got some numerous projects on his plate that just arrived. So he's going to have to cut down a little bit on his reviews as well. He's only going to do one this week.
But I will be here.
Yes. Yeah, he will be here for Jump Scare, presuming that we actually get that book in to read between now and Thursday.
And if we don't get that book in, I'll just read some of the other reviews. Really, really sexy.
Well, actually, have a backup one. Oh geez, the one that there's ones that are already out that we're gonna do.
Okay, cool.
Like, was it Mommy Blog was that last week?
Yes, that one hopefully will be out by now.
Yeah, so you could do Mommy Blog, or you could do one of the other ones that was back instead, but just one a week.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Just one a week until he's got his plate a little more open, so he has time to do things.
Yes.
But then we'll do. So what are we covering then on Thursday? Well, we're going to cover Countdown to Cobalt Crisis. We're going to cover Fatal. We're going to cover Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What if Donald Duck became Iron Man? Hopefully Jump Scare if it comes out. Venom. I think it's called Original Sin.
Yes.
Venom Original Sin #1 and Galaxy of Madness 10. Assuming most of these books we've already gotten them. The only ones you have to really worry about are Jump Scare and Galaxy. But we'll try and have some other stuff as well. But pretty much we're just going to try and just keep things to a smaller amount for a little while everybody's recuperating from different things.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
But and if not, and the other two just need to rest, I guess I'll just have to be a pack rat.
Right. Yeah. You'll have to be Conan soloing on the grinding wheel. Yes, oh.
Yes. Right. But Friday we'll be back with retro science fiction from 1954, the classic science fiction film Devil Girl from Mars. Oh no, the Martian will want Earthmen to repopulate their planet. Whatever will happen. Well, the two of us are going to be here to talk about it. I don't think John will be, given what's going on with him, but you get better, John. If you're able to join us, great, but we're not expecting it.
Yes. Yes, our thoughts go out to you. Hoping this passes quickly.
Very quickly, actually. Yeah.
And it's actually kind of refreshing, the movie, because isn't it usually Earth or men from Mars that want Earth women?
Or whatever,
Somebody's always wanting Earth women, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So it should be interesting to see that one. And then
but just like Diamond, we have a no return policy. You can take the women, but there is a no return policy. You cannot give them back.
What? Why? 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 Yeah. I take it that Angie is not home when you said that.
She is home, actually. I am in my office. The door is closed. So
you are safe from persecution.
yes. But I could just imagine Martians coming and abducting, Earth women. Zorgloff, did you load the dishwasher right? I don't think so. How come you didn't wipe your feet before you came in the UFO?
Oh, Lordy. So you are in your office.
I am, yes.
How come you're in the dark then?
Let's see here.
I mean, you didn't, or did you get the office remade yet?
The blur should be off. Yeah, it's pretty much. Let's see here.
Yeah, it's off now.
Yeah, there it is. I got my Ghost Rider picture and all of the generous prints that Lewis sent me. There are going to be going up there as well. So
they'll be behind you on the wall soon.
Yes. Yep. They will be surrounding the Ghost Rider.
Ah, cool. Very cool. So, yeah, that's quite a bit of coolness to be going on there. Of course, on my pictures, you do see mine up there in the top right corner, but I've got Burton and other people. Plus, I'm blocking all the good art, right? I gotta move over. How do I get out of here? So
Yeah.
Good art. There we go. Yeah.
Well, my big ass head, you can't see shit.
I know it's hard for you guys to see back there, but that top one's a burn page from 2112, and then the man thing, which I'm pretty sure you guys can make out, that's by Aaron Lopresti. But one of these days, we're going to have to figure out a better way for camera angles so people can look at our stuff.
Right. Exactly.
But anyway, that's our show for tonight then. Lots of stuff to do. But I'm trying to think, because you've got a whole lot of stuff that you were going to read before you got this new assignment.
Yes. There was quite a few books that I was going to do. So
it's like we'll figure out something. If Jump Scare's not in, I'm sure it will be, but if for some reason it's not, we'll pick one randomly.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go you one further. If you read them and write up the review, I'll read it.
Isn't that what we always do anyway?
Right? Yeah. If you do all the hard work, I'll take the glory.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll tell you what. If I write them all up and you read them, the thing is, I don't read the comics when they're yours all the time.
Right.
So that's the thing, So I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
Well, you could just look. You could look at the cover and you could write up what you think it's about.
I think this book is going to suck. What does Chris think? I don't know. I haven't read it yet. Anyway, we'll figure out something. But alrighty, man. I gotta see what this looks like in the daytime.
Oh, my office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the colors look a little bit weird to me. Looks like
I have orange light and like an orangish light above me. It'll look different in daytime. So
yeah. Okay. Alrighty, man. Well, thank you all for watching. As always, we appreciate you. And let me get this silly thing because it didn't do what it was supposed to, of course. So let's see if I can do yes. There we go. Do it that way. That was the good thing. I could just go to the previous week. All right. If you want to reach out to us on social media, Facebook, We'll Stop Right Raven, the Muskrat Twitter at Lewis Brett Raven 2. You can see my artwork at deviantart.com/BrettRaven. Or if you want to look at Chris's art, it's deviantart.com/fatboy73. You've been watching Quoth the Raven LBR. Quoth the Raven Lewis Brett Raven exclusively on YouTube. Quoth the Raven LBR72 gmail.com is email to reach me at. If I don't get back to you on that, try Lewis Brett Raven at yahoo.com. And if you want to try and reach out to Chris, ghthrowingstones at gmail.com. And that's also the email to send samplers for writers, pencilers, colorists for the Throwing Stones podcast from Glass House, which he co-hosts with Glass House founder David Campiti. Who is your guest this Saturday?
We are not sure yet, but it will be announced soon.
Okay. So it's going to be a live show.
No, it's going to be pre-recorded, but David is in Japan
right
now on vacation with his lovely wife who had a birthday.
Yes.
So that's why you know what? It may be live. David is kind of like incommunicado right now because he's in a whole different time zone. So
yeah. Well, we'll figure it out when I get here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's about it.
Yep. And you'll be sitting there going, now I know how Lewis feels all the time.
Right? Yeah. Everything last damn minute. If it wasn't for the last minute, nothing would happen.
Yep. Okay. Alrighty. So I can't promote it for Saturday, but maybe I will know by Thursday.
Well, it will be on Saturday, 8:00 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time. We're just not sure about the guest right now. So
do you want to get on the picture again? You want to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye? Come on.
Oh, wait a second. No, I know who's going to be on. It is going to be Marco Santucci.
Yes, okay, Marco Santucci.
Yes, and his wife, Maria Sanapo.
Oh, yes, okay. Yes, you did know.
Yes, I did. And Marco is a lovely, lovely individual. Just a pleasure to talk to. And his wife, Maria, is Wonder Woman. I shit you not. She is a former bodybuilder. She still stays in great physique. Yeah, you know who Maria is. Yeah, she's Wonder Woman. So
that's why I kind of laughed when you said that. Yeah. So, and I forget what nationality they are. Are they Brazilian?
They're Italian.
Italian. Okay.
Yes, they're Italian. Italiano.
It's a lot closer to the Greek. So yes.
Right. Yes, and we were talking about how if David was in Italy, it would be Campiti or Campiti.
Yeah. Okay. What? He wanted to say goodbye, everybody. So, all right, folks. Well, again, that is Glass House Throwing Stones on Saturday. We'll get more information on that for Thursday. So, until then, have a great night. We'll see you next time. Quoth the Raven.
Nevermore.